We're joined today by Chris Reid, Managing Director and Founder of Neometals. Chris, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, David. Always a pleasure.
Pivoted from battery recycling, which is what the company has been known for in recent years, to gold at Barrambie, a project you've held for a long time, and you're now unlocking that gold potential. Can you talk to how that potential is being unlocked?
Yeah, sure. So, I guess for the first decade of our lives, we were gold miners, then we were lithium miners, lithium recycling. We had to exit that, and now we've returned to our golden roots and unlocking gold production at Barrambie. So what we're doing there is basically taking some of the old prospects, low-hanging fruit. We've defined open pittable resources on there, and most importantly, we've been able to attract BML Ventures to do a production joint venture on the Ironclad deposit, which is essentially, we sort of co-fund some pre-FID activities, grade control, native title, permitting. FID will be towards the back end of the year, and then hopefully start production in the first quarter of next year. Fantastic capital light, low risk way for us to get back into gold production. They wear all the working capital, recover their costs, and split the profits 50-50.
How important is it to use a model such as that to unlock the value at Barrambie?
Yeah, look, I think it always depends how much cash you got. And if you haven't got a massive amount of cash, so, we're in the middle of a fundraising, the most important thing for us has been to generate a source of cash flow. So for us, we've defined a starter pit that's 12 months. We'll now look at extending that with some more drilling to get that out to 2 to 3 years. And with a bit of luck, get a couple of satellite deposits permitted. So, you're not knocking it out of the park, but for us, generating cash from gold in these gold prices in the most capital efficient, fastest route possible has been our focus.
And you've also identified copper at Rinaldi. Can you talk to that, and how does that add value to Barrambie?
Yeah, so just off our northern boundary, the guys at Solstice have Nanity Well, which historically was a lower grade copper gold deposit. They did some exploration, some IP surveys. They've got a couple of anomalies. As they're drilling closer to them, the grades are going up and they're starting to look really good. They've had a good run. We have about 40 strike kilometres of the belt to the south. And so I said to the GOs, well, look, there's got to be, it's very hard to be just one isolated deposit. And the boys said, well, we've got Rinaldi, which was a historic deposit, a couple of shafts in 1944, little open pit in the late 50s, early 60s. Very, very high grade, sort of circa 10% copper. What we didn't want to do is just say, it could be a surface enrichment. So we drilled a couple of holes down deep into the primary and identified bornite and chalcopyrite, which is exactly what you want. So I think it's just the start of the story there. We've got a number of structural analogies to Nanity. So it's certainly, it's another string in the bow.
And you've recently broadened the portfolio, picking up a potassium project in Utah. Can you talk to the attractiveness of that project?
Yeah, we had some friends approach us early last year who had acquired a natural gas plant and gas wells in Utah. And they came to us and said, look, there's a massive underground sea of potassium and lithium in brine. Would you like to do a deal on it? And I thought, well, we've got quite a lot of experience in processing lithium. We'll have a look at it. So we've got access to 23 of the inactive wells for sampling and production purposes. We'll be soon taking a bulk sample out of that and running it through a DLE pilot. So for us, we've always been big believers in lithium. We're upstream miners, recyclers. I think out of that journey, and to rebuild the company, for us, you really do need to have an upstream asset in lithium. Lithium brines we know that the lithium brines in the cost curve are the bottom half, and the hard rock converters in China are the top half. So that's the sort of asset you want. Having the potassium. So if we look at, who is the lowest cost producer in the world? So SQM, they've got a brine. They take the potassium out before the lithium. And so we've got an opportunity. It's a very large basin. The Paradox Basin's about 600 k's long by about 200 k's wide. And we recently put out a exploration target.
Well,
It's got big telephone book numbers in the billions, which, in the multi-billions, which is fantastic. And so we will just go through and de-risk that. We've got a very good American partner there, so it's 51-49.
and for investors watching the company over the next 12 months, what should be the catalyst that should get their attention?
So, with the drill bit for the gold, so extension drilling, grade control drilling, and then ticking off those sort of final permits, native title, mining proposal, FID, boots on the ground, and so, the market can't ignore cash flow. And then for the brine project in Utah, we put out an exploration target. We'll take the bulk sample, put out the results of the pilot plant. We'll then put out some sampling results to get a mineral resource estimate, an inferred mineral resource estimate. And then we should put out a scoping study probably, March, April next year.
Exciting times ahead for Neometals and its shareholders. Chris, thanks for your time.
Thank you, David.